Hey, what's up everybody? Today I'm going to be going around the streets, finding people to interview, asking them what they do for a living, how they actually make money, and some of these answers are going to absolutely shock you. So stick around to the end because you will not believe what some of these people do for a living, how they make their money, and what brought them over to Georgia in the first place. So let's go ahead and find a few people. So today I'm going to be interviewing people on Tbilisi. Hey, how's it going?
Hey, what's up?
Do you mind if I ask you a few questions about what you're doing here? You look like, you don't look very Georgian. Are you from Georgia?
I'm not from Georgia, no.
Where are you from?
From Canada.
Okay, which part of Canada?
Western Canada, from Calgary.
Really? Ryan from Canada.
Yeah.
So what brings you all the way overseas to the Republic of Georgia?
Long story, I was traveling for a few years and everybody recommended it. If you travel for a long time, you realize like friends and hobbies are really good things, and it's easier to have that when you like live somewhere.
What are your 3 favorite things about living overseas?
Oh man, like every day is like a holiday, right? I used to just want to take holidays for a week or two and then you come back to real life. But if you live overseas, you get to live in a place where most people go on holidays. So it's just more interesting. You get to meet people from all over the world and explore. Like it doesn't feel like you need to take time off from your life because your life has every day is cool.
When was your first trip overseas? How long ago was that?
On my own was to Switzerland for work when 2011, September 2011. So 11 years ago.
11 years ago. And where was your first trip as a digital nomad, essentially working for yourself?
That's tough because I had like a slow transition between working full-time for somebody else and working for myself. So fully when I had no job, I was fully self-employed. Somewhere in Europe, might have been, it was either, actually my first ever project was for a company in Italy, in Milan, Italy. Yeah.
And so did you go to college?
I went to university, in Canada we call it university, studied engineering at the University of Waterloo, yeah.
So did you end up working as an engineer, or what did you do after university?
Right after university, I did a bike trip across Canada, actually, and then I worked as an engineer for 4.5 years before slowly quitting my job, still good at engineering, doing the full-time digital nomad thing, and working for myself, yeah.
So how did you make that transition from working full-time for an employer to working for yourself?
I tried a lot of things to, make money online. I took a couple courses which were really helpful in teaching me like the basics of marketing and business strategy. And then in 2015, I was living in England, working for another company. I started this TEDx event in England, and so through that I saw that there's a lot of people that want to do a TEDx talk. They don't know how to do it. They don't do a good job of articulating a really clear, compelling, amazing message. So I thought, I wonder if there's an opportunity here. And I did some market research testing on various LinkedIn groups, and like that's how I started doing coaching, selling courses and things like that.
So is TEDx coaching the first dollar you made as an online entrepreneur?
Online, yes. I had done other entrepreneurial things as a kid, but online, yeah.
Okay, so how did you make your first passive dollar? Not trading time for money, but have you
Right.
had that realm where you've come to make money as you sleep?
Yeah, the first passive dollar I ever made was I developed a digital product called the TEDx Roadmap, and I launched that to an email list that I had built through blogging and things like that. And while I was traveling in Vietnam, I was asleep on one of these like little night buses with the worst seats in the world, and I woke up the next day connected to Wi-Fi, and I'd made like $500 overnight, which is cool.
Wow. So when you made your first $500 overnight, how did that make you feel?
I mean, it's amazing. You feel like there's like hope here. If I just learned more about strategy, if I just did this more, I could get more of this. And then also it feels like magic, learning how to to talk to somebody and like write words on the internet that causes somebody to actually take out their credit card and buy something from you. So it is like a very different feeling than going to work and say, "You boss, okay, I'll give you this salary," or talking to somebody in person and convincing them to buy like a product. It feels like magic. It feels like money is coming from nowhere, and it's like if you don't like, put your hand in your pocket and you pulled up money, and then the next time you did it, there was more money there. It feels like magic, honestly.
Ryan, could you explain in one sentence what you do?
I help people become thought leaders.
Interesting. So what would you say is the most important thing? Having a big creative idea or being good at executing and delivering that idea?
I mean, they're both important. I think the consistency of like execution is probably more important in the long term, because if you have this great idea but you don't do anything with it, nothing is going to work, right? And I've seen people, they try a little bit, they apply for like one event and it doesn't work, and they think, oh, never mind, like I'm going to give up and whatever else. Whereas people that have, their idea is like, okay, it's not perfect or crazy profound, but they just keep on trying, keep on executing, and they always get there. So, the thing that I think about is if I fail at something like 5 times, 10 times, 20 times, and then eventually succeed, no one, in 5 years, no one's going to care about all the failures. You just have to succeed once, and then like that's enough. So I think the long-term consistency and continuing to realize that if you just keep on trying and trying and trying, you're eventually going to get there.
What is the worst thing about being an entrepreneur?
Man, you don't have work friends. So if you have a job, you have like your boss and your colleagues, and you get to like hang out with buddies every day. Whereas if you're an entrepreneur, you're on your own, and like no one's come to save you, and you have to find that community yourself and create that yourself.
So how did you make your first $1,000 as an online entrepreneur?
I had an online course that called the TEDx Roadmap, and I made a PDF and I blasted out an email list, or a message on my email list, and was asleep on a night bus in Vietnam, and woke up the next day and I'd made a few $100 and then more the following days.
So how did you actually get started with your email list?
I just started blogging. I would endlessly spam LinkedIn groups and Facebook groups with blog posts, and spamming Facebook groups.
There you go. Content creation from day one, and pushing your message out to targeted demographics.
Sure, very targeted. Not spammy at all.
All right, what are you most excited about your business in the next year?
I think it's meeting my clients. So my clients, they want to get their message out there, and they're really fascinating, interesting people. So I'm just meeting interesting people, like almost like celebrity level people.
Yeah. What is the one powerful statement that you want to leave with this world?
Produce things, don't just be a consumer of things. So make the events, host the party, make the blog posts.
Love it. Thank you, Ryan.
Thanks.